Good Monday evening, our followers online. This is Daniel Crawley with a look ahead of what we have going on as we head in through this week. And big changes are really coming. I know a lot of people were really excited over the warm weather we had over the past weekend. Don't get used to that, folks, because big changes are coming, and we wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up tonight on what we see going on. Just looking at the current weather map right now, we have temperatures that are in the 40s to around 50 across the region. We do have a little bit of rainfall that's moving through the region, through the Appalachians right now, and it's drifting down to the southeast. We have a weak area low pressure over the Carolinas right now, and it's starting to move to the northeast and out of the region. Some areas did pick up some rainfall today, especially the further south you were, especially south of Interstate 40. But most areas probably had anywhere from a few hundredths to maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit more, especially the farther south you were. But all in all, it was good rainfall and well needed because we've been dry the last couple of weeks. We had some fire dangers across the region, so it was good to have that rain. Wish we could have a little bit more, but we'll take what we can get at this point. Next couple of days, we're going to be at or just a little bit above normal temperature-wise, and it should gradually clear out. We're not going to have much of an issue with rainfall, at least through Wednesday or Thursday. Now, the reason why we're on here tonight, we want to give you a heads up as to what's going to be going on next week. Again, big changes in the temperatures. As I said just a second ago, we had a lot of warm weather. Kind of gave you a little bit of spring fever over the weekend. Don't let it deceive you, because we're going to have some big changes, and we're going to be just as cold this next weekend as we was warm this past weekend. We don't want you to be caught off guard at all. So this is why we're on tonight, to kind of tell you what's going on. And just looking at model data, this is going to be a pretty significant outbreak. It's going to come in two phases. The first real shot of cold air will be coming in on Thursday and into Friday. And then the really cold shot of air is coming in late Saturday into Sunday. And that could, that's a little bit threatening just by what we're looking at on the models. We're going to have some temperatures that are going to go really low. When you add wind chills into the equation, it could get dangerous at times. So I'll just look at what's going on. And this is a look at the GFS. And I can tell you right now, the global models that we look at are agreeing on this pretty well. And that's something that we've not had a lot of this winter when it's come to the weather. We've had one model tell us one thing and one model tell us something else. And there's been a lot of disagreement. There's not been a lot of confidence in forecasting. But we're feeling pretty confident that there's some big changes. After we have a pretty nice Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the big transition day. As you can see on the model right here, we're going to start at around freezing Thursday morning across the entire region, from the mountains down to the foothills into the western Piedmont. But those temperatures are probably going to be early day highs, especially, say, before lunch. Right here, the advanced at 78 hours on the model. This is at 7 o'clock Thursday evening, and temperatures are already dropping like a rock. We could have temperatures around 20 across the foothills, and temperatures in the mountains as we head into as early as Thursday evening could already be down into the single digits. And I can tell you right now, the wind's going to be howling up there, and wind chills are going below zero as early as Thursday evening across the mountains. We'll have some wind here in the foothills, not as strong as, say, in the mountains. So wind chills, especially as we head into Friday morning, will probably be upper single digits to probably teens across the region. Right here is a look at the GFS, and we feel pretty confident with these numbers. Teens across most of the region. In fact, it may be even just a hair colder than what this is showing right here. It's showing, for example, 18 at Hickory. Could be even a little bit colder than that. The blue shading up the mountains, single digits. And it'll definitely be bone-chilling cold up there. And again, with the wind chills, we're going to go below zero in that part of the country. It's not going to be much of a warm-up on Friday. 30s, I'd say low 30s across the region on Friday. Going to stay below freezing in the mountains. And matter of fact, it's going to stay probably below freezing in the mountains once you get into Thursday, probably for about a 3 or 4 day period. Going even a little bit further, we're going to moderate a little bit on Saturday. We're probably going to see some upper 30s, maybe low 40s, especially south of I-40 on Saturday. But here's where the second and the even more dangerous shot of cold air is coming. As you can see here across the Ohio Valley, there's already a surge of cold air coming, and it's just going to dive down to the southeast. And looking here, by the time we get to Sunday morning, single digits are probably going to be common east of the mountains in western North Carolina. And if you're in the mountains in that white, grayish looking shade, you're below zero. So anybody that's got a little bit of elevation as we head into Sunday morning, you're probably going to flirt zero or below zero. When you start talking about wind chills, you're probably going to be talking wind chills close to minus 20 or even more, especially the higher up you go in elevation. And some of those peaks like Mount Mitchell, Mount Pisgah, Grandfather Mountain, there's no telling how cold it's going to get because it's going to be brutal up there. And this is dangerous stuff, folks, and this is why we wanted to give you a little bit of head up on it. As you remember, we had that real cold snap back in early January. Just, looking at the model data here, we feel like this is probably going to match that, if not exceed that. This may, for a comparison's sake, this might actually be closer to what we had last January 2014, where we had temperatures even down in the lower elevations approach zero, and we had widespread below zero temperatures in the mountains. And then we just had some wind chills that were just outrageous and were life-threatening. So, over the next couple days, it'll be a good time to get all things that you need in order to prepare for this kind of cold weather, because it's not going to be just a one-day shot and then out. It's going to be a 3-4 day event potentially, especially in the mountains. But even here in the lower elevations, the days that it gets above freezing, we're not going to get a whole lot above freezing. We might be talking 38 to 40 at best. And when you have repetitive nights in the teens or single digits, and even with just a little bit of moderation, you're still looking at problems. If you have problems with plumbing, if your pops are prone to bursting in that kind of temperature, that's the kind of thing you need to take action on the next couple of days and have it ready. Also, an alternate heating source. We always talk about that because a lot of people, especially in more urbanized areas or more developed areas, you may have a lot of homes that are relying on some kind of electrical heat or heat pump, whereas in that kind of weather, those methods of heating tend to struggle. So definitely have an alternate heating source ready. Looking at what's going on aloft, and I got it right here again. This is at 12Z Thursday, so we're looking at Thursday morning. We have a really deep trough that's going to be dropping down into the eastern U.S., and it's going to hold into place. And one reason why it's going to hold into place is we're going to have a pretty stout western ridge that's going to form. As you know, we've talked about a lot this year when we've done our kind of looking ahead at stuff. Computer models this year seems like several times we've had western ridge pop up, say in the day 7-8 range, and then once we get a couple days closer to it, it completely flattens out. And might be the one exception to that, at least compared to what's been going on over the last 6 weeks or so. We're thinking that this ridge is going to hold pretty firm at least for a couple days. And what that will allow is that's going to allow some very cold, bitter Arctic air to come down from the Arctic regions. Most of the cold air in the northern hemisphere is on our side of the globe right now, and it's just waiting for something to tap and bring it down into the U.S. And of course, New England's had a lot of snow here in the last month. They've had a lot of cold air, and it looks like now that a lot of people is going to be kind of sharing the wealth on that, so to speak. So, be ready for it. Looking at what's going on as we head into Friday, look at that tall western ridge and look downstream at the trough, straight north to south, cross polar flow. We had that last November. Again, we had that little spell of it early part of January this year. And usually when you have that in our part of the world, it means trouble. So be ready for it. And just keep, I mentioned earlier that it looks like it's going to be about a 3 to 4 day event. The hot falls over the eastern U.S. as we head into Saturday afternoon are amazing. I mean, these are some very abnormal readings as far as the atmosphere. So, this has got our attention, and it's something that we definitely feel like needs to be mentioned. And that's our mission always when we forecast for you folks in the counties that we cover, is to keep you ahead before, during, and after the storm. And not really that this is a storm, but this is going to be quite an outbreak, and it could be disruptive for some people. Just kind of progressing ahead and kind of going back to what I'd mentioned a minute ago, it seems like things eventually flatten out west. And looking at it right here as we head into late Sunday and into Monday, that tall ridge is going to break down and things are kind of flatten out and allow it to start moving east. So probably when we get into, say, next Monday, things should begin to moderate. But again, looking at what we got in the in the long range, say out a week to 2 weeks, we could kind of see the potential of this repeating itself a couple times as we head into mid and late February. So, be on the lookout for it, and don't be surprised if we get a couple shots of these before the month is over. Um, of course, we can't buy a flake of snow around here, it seems like, this winter, and I know we have a lot of fans that love snow, and unfortunately this is not the type of pattern to give us any snow, but it can definitely give us some cold air. And looking at what we see going on in the atmosphere, the cold air is going to be very reluctant to leave us as we head into the latter part of winter. Our confidence in snow is not real high right now, but we feel pretty confident that as we head through late February, and we'll even throw early March in there, these temperatures are going to be reluctant to leave. So if you saw what happened this past weekend and you think, well, we're just going to blowtorch ourselves in the spring come March, I would not prepare for that. I would prepare for things to at least stay cold below normal. But that's kind of a wrap up of what's going on. Just to be ready, the next couple days are going to be okay. But when we head into Thursday, get ready because big changes are coming, and especially Friday and then again on Sunday, it's going to be some very cold air. As always, take care of your pets, take care of the elderly. If you know anyone that's in danger, get them in a safe place and take care of them. So that's it for what's going on right now. As always, check us out online on McDowell Weather, Burke Weather, Caldwell Weather, Catawba County Weather, and a big shout out. And we made an official announcement this morning. We are adding Cleveland County again on March 1st. So you folks in Shelby and Kings Mountain and Bowling Springs, North Carolina, we're going to start giving you the up-to-date and most reliable weather information out there. So share the word. I know we already have the Cleveland page up and running. We have some followers on there, but we're going to go full blast with you on March 1st. So we look forward to doing that, and we look forward to serving your community as well. So once again, get ready. Next couple days are going to be good, but big changes are coming by the weekend.